Be sure to go to flipsidegaming.com and use promo code 6 for 10% off on orders over $10. Do the same with the Grizzly Gentlemen. They are fantastic deals and help to support the show. What is up, Planeswalkers 36 back for more Magic the Gathering, and since today is Friday, it means another scheduled day, and this time we're playing Abzan, not Nazba. Nazba was an experiment. It failed. It failed very poorly. I went to the entire drawing board, and essentially what I did was I went through all of the cards that I knew for a fact I wanted in, and I knew the number I wanted them in. So I'm going to go through them, and I'll tell you if this was one of the main ones. And after that, I added in to fill out the deck. I don't know why I did it like that, I'm sorry. So we have 3 Bloodchief's Thirst. This is a fantastic removal spell I've been finding in Historic. Very helpful for dealing with early creatures, but it also doesn't lose any of its flexibility. Late game, it allows you to destroy anything for a premium. It is a sorcery, but that flexibility I think makes it worth it. This was absolutely a card that I put in first. Thoughtseize. Once again, a card I put in first. If you're playing some sort of black mid-range or control deck, even if you're playing like aggro, right? There's definitely going to be considerations made for slotting in some Thoughtseize. This allows you to just take literally anything out of your opponent's hand. And if you're worried about playing this against an aggro deck, think to yourself, what is the likelihood that any individual card that they have is going to deal more than 2 damage to you? If that likelihood is very high, Thoughtseize them, right? If you even if you just like Thoughtseize away a Lightning Strike, right? You are still saving 1 damage. Obviously, it is not worth the card, but you're also denying them a card, right? You're forcing them to not have any more prowess triggers. They're not going to be able to pass it in conjunction with a light up the stage or something if they really need to get that damage through. So Thoughtseize definitely great in essentially every matchup. 3 Scavenging Ooze, another one of the cards that I was definitely going to put in. For this, it's a 2 mana, 2/2, but you are able to exile a card from a graveyard. It could be your graveyard, and it doesn't have to be a creature, but if it is a creature, you get to grow your Skoos and gain a life. Very helpful against a number of decks, even just against a deck with no creatures. Being able to yeet things out of their graveyard so they can't use them. Things with Jumpstart, if your opponent has an Elspeth Conquers Death and you know they're running a bunch of Planeswalkers and they have some in their graveyard, you just get to say no. This also helps against the control decks that are using Search for Kenza. You can just be like, no. Land-based decks oftentimes will want to use their graveyard as well, so Skoos is great. We'll come back to these. 3 Mythos of Nethroi. One of the main reasons I'm playing Abzan, to be honest, the other one being Night of Autumn, so you can tell both of these were put in on purpose. You get instant speed, destroy essentially anything you want. If you have the mana for it, you get to destroy any non-land permanent. If you don't, you get to kill a creature, which is fine, because that's usually what you're going to use. 3 Night of Autumn. This card does everything you want it to do. By the way, you might be thinking, Justin, last week you did a full DeckTech on this. Why are you doing it again when you don't for Bolas? That's because Bolas is more or less set in stone, where small changes will be made. This one, I'm essentially changing the entirety of the deck. And you might be thinking, like, what are you talking about? There's so many cards that are the same here. Yes and no. Regardless. Could be a beater, can gain your life, can yeet an artifact or enchantment. Very helpful. 3 Questing Beast. It's Questing Beast. Look, what do you want me to say? Card's good. Yasharn is another one of the cards that I decided to play with this time. For what it's worth, it's not on the same level as the rest of the cards. I wanted to play with Yasharn here because I really enjoyed playing it in, I think, Selesnya Death in Texas? Well, I played this card at some point. I don't remember when. But I really liked it there. It really just bothers the hell out of a lot of these different decks. For what it's worth, it doesn't mess with you know, getting your shock lands untapped or whatever, because you're not activating an ability, but it is still a very nice card to have. And for what it's worth, you just get to grab 2 lands from your library and put them in your hand. And considering we are trying to actually play more 6+ drops in this version compared to the previous version that we did, that's very helpful. For what it's worth, they are basics. So if we're out of these, then that kind of sucks. 3 Thragtusk. It's Thragtusk. You gain life when it comes in, you get a beast token regardless of how it leaves, and it's a good old-fashioned 5/3. Very splashable, only 1 green pip. It's like the best card. It's Bay. Casualties of War. It just destroys whatever you need. We have it too. So those are all the cards that I, for sure, wanted to add in. I was considering having 25 lands in the main. and I was looking at kind of the holes that the deck had. I realized I only had three total 2-drops. I thought about using Cheval. At one point, the Nazba or whatever, that was a kind of a Hero of Precinct 1 style deck where I tried to have a lot of multicolored cards. It didn't really work because you want these 3 for sure. And you can get rid of this, replace it with Maelstrom Pulse, but you also like want Questing Beast for sure. You can technically use like Tolsimir / Tristani in this slot, but I just didn't like it. So I ended up scrapping that. It wasn't great. I considered having Incubation Druid as well. I considered Growth Chamber Guardian as well. But I ultimately landed on trying to make this more different than any of the other Abzan builds I had before. Growth Chamber Guardian I've absolutely had. Incubation Druid was the very previous one. And although I liked, for what it's worth, I like Guardian the most. And although I liked those, I wanted to try something else. So I decided, instead of having 25 lands in the main deck, let's have 24 and a decent number of any of the playable transform lands, or double face lands. So we have one Skyclave Cleric, which either can be a white source for us, or if we're playing against an aggro deck, we can have it enter, gain us 2 life, and be a 1/3 blocker. Seems decent. Tangled Florahedron can either just be a land, or if I know I have plenty of lands, or I just really want the ramp so that I can, I'm going to play a land anyway, I can get from 2 to 4, play a Questing Beast on turn 3 and whatnot, then I can just play it as a creature. Bala Ged Recovery. In a deck like Abzan, where we're going to be potentially playing a lot of powerful spells, especially ones that are very modular, being able to just get one of those cards back in the late game is fantastic, and it doesn't really cost us anything because we can just choose to have it be a land. Agadeem's Awakening is even better than all of those because of the fact that I can just play it as a tap land, I can play it as an untapped land. It does cost me a lot of damage, but we have a non-zero ways of gaining life in this deck, right? So I'm not too terribly worried about it. And of course, if we hit late game, and we're going up against control or something, and I'm relatively certain that they don't have a counter spell, and I just really need a Tour de Force, we can just get, even if it's just like a Scooze and a Knight of Autumn, that's often going to be sufficient. But we can literally get a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5 if we pay 8 for this, which is not terribly unlikely considering the fact that we technically have 27 lands. I'm counting these each like a little under a half. Hagra Mauling. It's another removal spell. It could technically cost only 3 mana if our opponent has no basic lands. Or I can just play it as a land if I don't need the removal for it. It's very nice. And one of the reason I'm really liking the idea of these, I haven't played with these yet, is the flexibility it adds. You've known for all of the times that I've talked about Abzan in this series, I guess, I love flexibility in my Abzan decks, because the meta can be nuts, it can be very stale even, but you're always going to be facing some rogue random decks, and in order to deal with those best, you want a lot of flexibility. I was missing 5-drops. I had already used New Viv. I considered using I think Old Viv, the one who like destroys flyers, enchantments, or artifacts, I think. And I was like, I don't want to do that. Let's bring in some Conqueror's Deaths. Conqueror's Death, I have been seeing a lot of control with my Bolus control deck. So I was like, let's throw in some Conqueror's Deaths, and I only want 2 of them. Let's have an Elder Gargaroth. I just like this card, alright? I just wanted to play more of it. And if it attacks, it does stupid things. It like wins the game by itself, which is fantastic. We have one Garruk and one Vraska. They're just both good planeswalkers, but I couldn't really decide on one over the other because they operate similarly, but still differently. Garruk is better if I'm just trying to amass a huge board. Vraska is better if I'm trying to get chip damage in. So think against things like planeswalkers. Garruk is better if I need to destroy something and draw a card, and Vraska is better if I need to destroy not a creature. And then, of course, if they ultimate, I win the game, regardless. And then we have a single Eerie Ultimatum. I'm running a couple, well, literally a couple of these that aren't, that are words are hard, permanents. And I just have a decent amount of permanents regardless. I have a lot of instant sorceries, do not get me wrong. I have a total of, 15? But still, I think Eerie Ultimatum might be a win more, but I want to try it out. This is the mana base. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it. It's a simple mana base. This is sideboard. 1 Graphics Cage, 1 Rest in Peace, and 1 Kaya for our Graveyard Hate. 3 Agonizing Remorse against Control, 2 Eliminate against the early creature decks, 3 Cry the Canarium against the early creature decks, 2 Necromentia against Combo and Control, 1 Thought Distortion against Control, and 1 Erebus' Intervention, kind of at a whim on where I think I'll need it. And let's just hop into it. I'm sorry that it was a bit longer of a deck tech, but them's be how it be. So since it was a longer deck tech, I'm going to try and make sure this video is at least 40 minutes. Frankly speaking, it's going to be. Just on the nature that I'm playing best of 3. If my opponent doesn't concede, they're a liar. So we're gonna see a decent amount of this. We don't have early plays. I'm gonna mulligan that. I will keep this and get rid of Casualties of War. I gotta say, I do like the early plays. Do I 4 myself here? Yeah, I'll 4 myself here. Okay. So this is a... Jeez. Oh, this is the Bant Party deck. I saw this on Twitter, like, today, I think. Jeez. Meta decks get around fast. I think I'll get rid of that, and then next turn I'll get rid of this. Just Thoughtseize them again, I guess. Yep. Ooh. I do like the Thirst. Can be blocked at the beginning of coming here if you have a full party. It's more mana efficient to play Scooze. Protection of the color on the first turn. I'm gonna play Scooze. It's more mana efficient. Oh, can you? Thank you. Goodness, sorry about that. I'll play Trap Finder, yep. It's gonna be a 2/2. I'm not gonna block. Going to kill this. And pass. Got rid of their rogue. I swear I saw this deck like today. Oh. You think he's compensating for something? I know I'm talking about myself, shut up. I do want to say I put oops. I put all of the 6 faces. I'm gonna eat all of them. I need to give them all keybinds. Because I'm gonna use them as like recording emotes essentially. Okay, I assume you're holding up Sajiri whatever. Cool, I will consume. Yum. Not a land. Incredibly rude. Kept a bad hand. Milling Mage is a wizard. But yeah, so in that situation, I would do one of these. Could also do, you know, some... Yay! We have some greed. I need to move greed. No, I want to move greed, dude. Alright, greed refuses to move. Probably because I'm recording. Oh, no, it's actually because of that. Dumbass. There we go. Sometimes I'll keep the greed. I mean, we're boned. So wizard, they can play rogue next turn. I have to chump block. I go down to 3. Yeah, there's actually no point in continuing. So I do want eliminates. Absolutely want cries. Intervention, possibly. I don't think they're going to have a lot of the things for that, so I don't think I care about it. We're going to get rid of. We're essentially just going to get rid of our greed cards. Yeah, I think that's probably fine. Oh right, great. There's obviously this is math, and I have it. It's supposed to be positioned above my opponent. Above my opponent. Because math is only for blockers. This is much better. And we just Temple Garden tapped. So they mulled once, which is good for me. They mulled once. Whatever. For what it's worth, I do need to do this off screen, but whatever. And then there's the... Excuse me? Yeah, a bunch of faces. I'll play Scooze now. Let's get it onto the field, see if good things can happen for me. Who am I kidding? Good things can't happen for me. Ooh, that is bad for Justin. I might even use Bala Ged Recovery on my Thirst just to kill the Archpriest. And you kill this here because I can pump my Ooze to 3. Did that. Okay, that's fine. That is on 3 power. And I think I'm just going to let it happen. Because I'll only go down to 16. Yeah, that's fine. You can discard a card. Cry the Canarium. No, I think I'm just gonna do a value Bala Ged Recovery here. With the Archpriest. My Scooze can't block, and I'm not going to attack. Because I do think they would trade a card for that. I did modify some settings on OBS, so theoretically it should be a little bit smoother. I'm just gonna toss these now. I assume it's just another borrower. Okay, the idea. So they're definitely going to collect a company here. And the goal is to make this a 3/3. And then cry the Canarium their punk ass. It's possible I could make this a 4/4. So I could block this profitably. Oh, I really hope they don't have Deputy of Detention. That's not a wizard, is it? Or a cleric? Oh, I really like them not to have Deputy of Detention. Well, my opponent is thinking real hard for whatever they're getting here. I've definitely seen this deck like today. That's fine. I guess it's not, because they're gonna they're gonna play the Protector, so the Pelt Collector is not gonna be able to die to my Cry. We top decked the one card. I get to kill the Pelt Collector at least. So I can Cry. Ow. Okay. Yeah, of course you just play Uro. Like, why wouldn't you? Pretty sure I have to kill that. Right? They got another way to just give something protection from green. I would lose anyway. That's fine. Cool. I'm worried about just dying to a Brazen Bar right here. So I think I'm gonna Knight of Autumn and gain life. So do I need a Bloodchief? This goes back to the battlefield, yeah. Do I need to... I don't think I do. What's this do again? Target creature gains flying? Alright, well, I probably should kill that then. Because then they would have a full party, and they could just give Tarjuyu Protector flying as well. Oh, do not be another company, alright. Yasharn does not have reach. Okay. As long as they don't have another thing, I technically live. Should I just be playing with 25 lands? Okay. I would like to bring those back in, actually. Is Cage worth bringing in here? I guess it hits Company and Uro. Maybe? Can I afford Cage, essentially? Mm. 1 second. Maybe I don't want Necromantia. No. 'Possibly incorrect, but also I absolutely forgot the B in that word. I said possibly. Possibly incorrect. Getting a lot of scoos here. I can't keep a 2-lander. Yep. So I didn't shock here because I don't think that this is going to deal enough damage to me. Never mind, I guess it would have. I'm just dumb, apparently. Erebos' intervention allows me to kill that, which is nice. In fact, I think that's what I do. Do I do just... Is that what I do? Because intervention can give me a lot of value. I think it is, and I think I just do it now. I know that they have protection granting on the deck. I don't think my opponent's going to make this mistake. Yeah. Okay. Next turn I have a normal Bloodchief's Thirst. Shocking here for potentially an Obstructionist. Nope, just playing the Linvala. Alright, well I will just Thirst this. Why would you ever protect your Archpriest? Next turn I can Thirst the Linvala. Don't mind if she sacks herself. This resolving isn't necessary. Man, I wonder what you have. I was wrong. Post-combat though, so unfortunate for them. It's unfortunate for me that I kind of have to play it like this, but Elder Gargaroth is actually not terribly strong because they have access to Brazen Borrower. And I assume that they have Borrower in hand. Yeah, I'm fairly certain they have Borrower in hand right now. Yep. Probably would be great. Always lucky. Protection doesn't help you here. Why am I having issues with lands? That seems so weird, right? Am I a loon? Damn. I could have really used a land there. I'm just gonna gain life. I'm too worried about beating them down. Because the cards in my hand benefit a longer game. Obviously, they could have company. Only 41% of my deck is lands right now. How is that? How is that true? I do still have 24 lands in here, right? Well, I'd like to top take a land regardless, even though it's technically the smaller percentage. I'll take a Yasharn, I'll take a Beast. I'll take my last Thirst. Take my Mythos, Eliminate works here. Hagra I would honestly play tapped. Oh my god, there's finally a show sideboard button. Oh, goodness me. Yo. The Mad Lads did it. I can now see my sideboard from the main deck. Yo. That's what's up. Opponent! Could you please? I don't... Actually, no. We're gonna do one of these. Because I have no idea what they're doing. Okay, now we're switching to this. Opponent, seriously? Come on. Thank you. I think my opponent was trying to look up my deck list. But I've not posted this deck list yet. If my opponent put some bullshit that I've not played yet, but I do have... Okay, no, that's fine. They know I have Scooze. Scooze would be relatively helpful here. And I mean, I still have 3 of them, so I have a 6% chance. Mythos of Nethroi is quite nice. Protection from the color of your choice. They've played this? I did not realize. Arena? Hello? Did I just get DDoSed? Is my opponent meddling with me? I am on the internet. I have no trouble loading things. Yeah, I'm loading things fine. Gonna close Arena, so you all get to see my splash screen as I hard close Arena and open it up and hope I'm still in the fucking game. What the hell? Excuse me? Call this thing. Okay, no match data found, so I assume that means that the game just didn't count. Yeah, game just didn't count. Okay. It's fine. No, it's fine. I feel fine. I feel totally fine. I'm upset. It's a good hand, though. I can Thoughtseize and Thirst next turn, if need be. Seems like need be. Yeah. I'd like to hit in a Pride Mate here. No Pride Mate. Just get rid of the Strength of the Prod, to be honest. And we are going to murder her. Next time we're just playing Knight of Autumn as a 4-3. Never mind, we're killing that. The next time we're killing that. Never mind. Let's grab those. Cryotherapy I don't actually think is going to be good here. Kaya might. It's probably fine for now. I don't. Maybe I shouldn't be. Maybe I shouldn't be considering. I have other things to record. I can't actually go into another match. I assure you, no one is more disappointed about this than I am. I didn't really get to test the deck. What's this garbage FNM? I see standard and I think, oh, it's terrible. It's just normal standard? Eh. Thanks, patron. Especially Fogwind. If you want to join them in the support of this clown show, links, as always, are in the description, along with a bunch of other awesome links and information. Frankly, my descriptions are the best in the game. Bro, I don't know. If you like the series, I guess, like, comment, subscribe, because there's no way in hell you enjoyed this video where I freaking got DDoSed by Magic Arena, and then my opponent just conceded when they realized I was playing an interactive deck in traditional ranked. Yeah, alright, fucking like, comment, subscribe, all will be one. I don't fucking know, dude.